Okay, welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
We have got a very specific piece of source material right here today.
Yeah, really specific.
But we're
one.
basically going to unpack it together. You know, pull out the key bits of info, the interesting stuff.
Exactly. So you walk away feeling like you really get this one item.
Today, it's all about a single wiki page.
Just one page, right?
Yep, one page.
Yeah.
And it's entirely focused on just one episode of that classic 80s show, Airwolf.
Airwolf. And this wiki page, it's really zeroed in on season 1, episode 10. It's called Mind of the Machine.
Mind of the Machine. Okay.
So our mission, you could say, for this deep dive is just to comb through this really detailed page.
And pull out what? The surprising facts?
Yeah.
Production notes?
Yeah, exactly. The facts, the hidden notes, character twists, any trivia that, the fans who wrote this thought was important enough to put down.
Right. We want to see what this passion online community thinks makes this one episode stand out.
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into this wiki page. It does start, well, like you'd expect, with a plot summary.
Right.
The main conflict they outline is Hawke, the pilot, versus a Dr. Robert Winchester.
Okay, Winchester. And he's described as, what, a former ace pilot himself? But now he's a scientist.
That's it. And what's interesting right away is what Winchester's made.
The simulator.
Exactly. A, state-of-the-art simulator built just for Airwolf.
Yeah.
He uses it to test pilots.
And according to the wiki, this is where the tension starts, right? He starts suggesting that based on the simulator data, well, maybe newer pilots are actually a better fit for Airwolf than Hawke.
Ooh, okay. So rubbing Hawke the wrong way, obviously.
Definitely creates resentment, yeah. Sets up that conflict.
So it kicks off looking like, old guard versus new tech, maybe. Or just ego versus the data.
Kind of seems that way at first, but the source, the wiki, it pretty quickly shows there's more going on underneath.
Like that lab assistant Diana.
Yeah.
The source mentions she seems lovely, but AB isn't.
Exactly. The wiki explicitly calls out lovely Diana. Says despite how she seems, she's actually a double agent.
A double agent, okay.
And she's working with, or rather for, a Soviet spy named Alexei Provov.
Right, so the whole thing pivots. It becomes an espionage plot.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the twist.
So Diana's not just, helping Winchester with the tech. She's actively messing with the simulator results.
Yes, and trying to undermine Hawke's confidence. All on Alexei's orders, according to the wiki.
Classic spy move.
Yeah.
And their goal, what's the end game described on the page?
Well, the stakes get really high. They're trying to uncover all of Airwolf's secrets.
Okay.
And the big plan, stealing Airwolf, the actual helicopter.
Wow. So that whole simulator test thing was just like the setup.
It escalates directly into trying to snatch the machine itself. Yeah, the wiki lays that escalation out pretty clearly in the plot section.
Okay, so switching gears a bit from the story itself, the wiki page then gets into the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right, the production details.
Yeah, and it meticulously lists the credits for just this one episode. It's kind of amazing. We see Ivan Dixon directed Mind of the Machine.
Ivan Dixon. That's a notable name, actually. Directed a lot after his acting career.
Yeah, and the source says Burton Armis did the story, and he was also the producer for this specific episode.
Right, and the teleplay, the actual shooting script, that was written by T.S. Cook.
And they keep going. They list the composer, Sylvester LeVay, the director of photography, Howard Schwartz, ASC.
American Society of Cinematographers, yeah.
Right. And the editor, Larry Strong, ACE, American Cinema Editors. It's just fascinating that a fan wiki tracks these specific crew roles for a single episode.
It really shows you the depth of dedication, doesn't it?
It really does.
They even give the specific production code number for this episode.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
58221.
58221. Not just, season 1, episode 10, a specific code. Wow.
And they note the air date, too. April 7th, 1984, ran 49 minutes.
All from this one page. Okay. Guest stars?
Yeah.
Does it list them?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Lists the key guest stars who, brought the story to life. David Carradine played Dr. Robert Winchester.
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Okay, big name. Instantly recognizable.
For sure. And Sondra Currie played the double-crossing assistant. Listed with 2 names, Gloriana and Diana Norris.
Interesting detail.
And the Soviet spy, Alexei Provov, that was Harvey Jason.
Harvey Jason, okay.
They also mentioned that Deborah Pratt, who was a recurring cast member playing Morella, she was in this episode too.
Gotcha. So main guests and recurring players noted. Does the wiki mention, locations?
It does, but it's pretty simple for this one. Just lists an unnamed test facility.
Okay. Minimalist, but precise, I guess.
And the aircraft scene, well, obviously Airwolf itself,
Naturally.
but also a Hughes 500 helicopter, probably standing in for just a generic chopper, you'd assume?
Makes sense.
Okay,
Now this next part on the wiki page, this is where it gets really specific. And honestly, kind of surprising.
what's that?
It lists the specific firearms seen in the episode.
Ah, okay. Yeah, this is where you see that, like, incredible fan dedication we were talking about. They actually identify the guns.
So where do they spot?
Well, they list a Heckler and Koch HK-94.
Okay.
And they even add a note saying it was probably used to represent the MP5 submachine guns that Provov's strike team uses.
Wait, so they know the model number and they're guessing what it's standing in for, like for filming purposes.
Exactly. That level of detail is, well, it's something else.
Seriously, what else?
They also list M16 rifles used by the security guards from the firm.
Right, the secret agency in the show.
Yep. And they note that Alexei Provov himself, the main spy guy, uses a Heckler & Koch HK4 pistol.
They even know the specific model of the bad guy's handgun he uses to shoot Dr. Winchester.
Seems so. It's listed right there. The specificity is pretty remarkable.
So yeah, this wiki page isn't just a summary. It's like a full inventory.
Totally.
You've got the spy plot, the guest stars, the production code 58221, and even the exact gun models.
It's like digging into the DNA of one 49-minute chunk of TV.
Yeah, like an archaeological dig. That's a good way to put it.
And it really gives you this incredibly detailed view of all the pieces of mind of the machine. The story, the actors, the technical bits like the guns, that production code.
It really highlights how much detail these dedicated fan communities manage to capture and document.
Absolutely. About the media they really love.
So let's pull back for a second. What did we get out of this? We took this super specific source, just one wiki page on one Airwolf episode.
Right.
And we pulled out the main conflict, that simulator thing, the surprise spy twist with Diana and Alexei.
The notable guest stars like Carradine, the specific crew credits, director Ivan Dixon, that code 58221.
And yeah, that really unusual trivia like the HK-94 standing in for an MP5 or Provov's HK4 pistol.
And I think this deep dive really showed us just how much rich, specific information can get gathered about, well, even just 49 minutes of television by people who are really passionate about it.
Yeah, it's not just what happened. It's like every single visible element or credited person.
Every piece matters to them.
And, understanding these specific elements, seeing all these layers of detail that people track, who directed it, the exact gun used in one scene, it really does highlight how deep these fan knowledge bases go.
It definitely can change how you maybe watch something like this, right? Seeing the sheer density of detail just under the surface.
For sure. So here's maybe something to think about based on looking at this wiki page.
Okay.
How do fans, like the ones who built this Airwolf Wiki, how do they even manage to spot these incredibly specific things?
Like identifying that exact gun model, maybe from a grainy shot, or knowing that production code, 58221.
Yeah. What is that level of, dedicated watching and documenting? What does that tell us about the things people get really passionate about what captures their attention?
That's a really interesting question to ponder. The power of focused passion, I guess.
Something to mull over, definitely. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Yeah, this was fun.